Hi people, how you guys doing? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. It is Sandra here, and I am back again with a video from Charlie Kirk that I've honestly been meaning to get into for the longest time because this title has actually been very interesting to me. Like, it says real life story will change the way you view abortion forever. And one of the major reasons why I had like a very strong interest in this video, outside like every other reason I like getting to Charlie Kirk's video, is that I I know my views on abortion, and I know most people's views on abortion, and I truly like haven't gotten into like someone who has had like a real life experience. So I'm hoping that that is what this video is about, and I really just want to hear the story, and I feel like it's really going to open my mind to a lot more that could be blocked off right now. So yeah, that's like one of the major reasons I want to get into this video. So please, people, put up your buckles and let's go.
I want to hear from you. So, can you say your name?
Taylor.
Taylor, I don't want to put you on the spot if you're not
no, you can't. I
uncomfortable.
talk about it.
So, have you had a child since? Can you talk about your story, please?
No. So when I was 23, I got pregnant. Wasn't planned. And I decided I was going to do the right thing. Came from a Christian family. Abortion was always off the table. At 18 weeks, I found out that my amniotic sac tore and attached to my baby's spine. It was pulling her spine out and filling her brain with fluid. And the doctor said, there's no other option. This is what we have to do. So I did induce labor and I gave birth. That was the grounds. I said, I'm not doing this unless. So I wanted to hold her. I wanted to, yeah. So afterwards, when I started getting bills, the doctor said, well, your life wasn't actually at risk of death in that moment. It could have been eventually, but it wasn't then. And so the pain that abortion caused me, I stayed in an abusive relationship for a year. I allowed a man to beat me because I felt so little about myself. I drank, I used drugs, and if it hadn't been for Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I don't know where I would be. So.
First of all, you are healed and forgiven.
Yeah.
And one day you'll meet that little one in heaven.
Amen. Yeah.
And I want you to have that as comfort.
Yes.
Because it says in the scriptures, God gathers the least of these in his hand. And I believe that speaks to the unborn.
Amen.
And I'm going to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that the medical industry lied to you?
Absolutely.
Talk more about that, because we're told to trust doctors. And if you, what would you have done? Would you have brought that baby to term? Because 18 weeks is before a baby can usually survive outside of utero.
Correct. But so giving birth to her, I was holding this little child. I mean, she was a baby. She had hands and nails, and I mean, she was alive. And in holding that baby, I knew, I was like, well, I had no right to take her life. And I felt like I was put in a position to choose that. And my mom, she talks about how she's like, I'm sitting there listening to a doctor say that my daughter's going to die. And I didn't know what to do. And so we all felt this pressure and this pushing to abort my daughter. And that wasn't the case.
What is your advice for women that are being lied to by doctors right now, where they're being told something of that case?
That death does not heal anything. And so taking her life didn't heal me. It didn't, I mean, if anything, my life was worse off. I wish that I had gone to term. I wish that, I wish that if she was going to pass, I wish she had passed in me without me choosing to take her life, is what I wish would have happened. And I do know a woman who shared her story with me, and she chose that route, and she didn't die. I mean, nothing happened, but she did pass the baby naturally as well. And the baby died naturally in her. But
I meet hundreds of women that, first of all, doctors say that your baby will die, and that's just not true. The baby ends up being perfectly healthy. Why do you think doctors are so intent on death? Like, what is that all about?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, it is money in their pocket. I hate to say it, but abortion is money. And I mean, I think that death has been so, sorry. Okay. I think that death just is, we've been so brainwashed that death isn't a big deal. Abortion's not a big deal. It's just, it is what it is. The doctor looked at me and he said, hopefully I see you again in a year. Like, it was just, So.
Thank you for sharing your story. I know how hard that is. And I I hope that it's part of God's plan
Thank
to
you.
bless you with more children.
All right, Charlie. So here's my question. So this morning you tweeted that only 51% of people of faith plan to vote in this election. And you said that Christians shouldn't expect Trump to have a more Christian ethos if they aren't going to turn out for them. Does that sound about accurate? Okay. So I think it should be the other way around. Why should America First Christians vote for Trump when he has come out saying he will be actively pro-choice by vetoing a national abortion ban, also saying that he is going to attach green cards to diplomas, which is putting the people of other countries before Americans, and also escalating tensions in the Middle East by calling for Israel to strike Iran instead of peace deals. So what do you think?
Okay, so just so we're clear, who do you plan to vote for?
I've always planned to vote Trump, but I'm not sure now.
Okay, got it. So on all those regards, do you think Kamala would be better?
Maybe a little on the Iranian one. None
Wow.
of the
Okay.
others.
Wow. Okay. So, but let's it's fine. Let's talk about the issue of abortion. So, will Donald Trump overturn the 10 states that have abortion bans?
No, but he did talk in favor of expanding pro-choice in Florida.
Well, no, that's not true. Actually, he said he was going to vote against the abortion amendment. So that's not correct. Kamala Harris will nationalize Roe versus Wade, which would overturn 10 pro-life laws that have gone into effect in 10 states. Which president repealed Roe versus Wade?
It was Trump's 3 judges.
Right. So shouldn't there be a little bit of gratitude for the president that gave us the greatest pro-life win in American history?
I agree. Loyalty is important, and that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
without
for
Trump.
sure. Well, no, we did. It did happen under Trump.
I said it wouldn't have happened.
Oh,
without
okay, great.
Trump.
No, for sure. Yeah, and I can see you're coming at this from a good place. But let's look at what Trump did for the issues you cared about. Number one, on the green cards thing, he's clarified that, so that is not his stated position. Number two, you obviously care about the southern border and what's happening on the southern border. Under Kamala Harris, 10 million people have come across the country illegally. Under Donald Trump, border crossings were at an all-time low, right? Number two, when it comes to immigration, Donald Trump has always said that he wants Americans to be put first when it comes to employment and for jobs. But you asked about people of faith. If we do not show up in big numbers, politicians will read the script that we provide them. And if we as Christians don't vote, then why should we expect our politicians to ever respond to our core values or our core sentiments? Trump gave us amazing justices and judges that protected religious liberty, protected religious freedom, and also I'm sure you care about guns, right? You care about the Second Amendment?
Yeah.
What would Kamala Harris do to your Second Amendment?
She would definitely not be for the Second Amendment.
For sure. So I'm not saying Trump is your perfect fit. I'm sure you'd like to have someone more pro-life, but the pro-life movement needs to survive. And under Kamala Harris, she has said that she'll make pregnancy resource centers illegal. She'll use the Department of Justice to go after Catholic priests and people of faith that practice on a daily basis. So Donald Trump will allow you to continue to practice your faith, allow you to continue to have religious liberty and freedom, and I bet you can agree that he is at least better on these issues than Kamala Harris, not a perfect fit for you.
Yeah, I would, just to be clear, I would never vote for Kamala
No,
Harris.
for sure.
all the
But
reasons
let's
you
be
said.
clear though. No. But I love that. But not voting for Trump is kind of a passive vote for Kamala Harris.
I understand that. However, how Trump, I think that in order for us to get him to support the things we want him to support, our only real tool is the vote. And if we were to say withhold our vote unless he stops sort of going more liberal in some areas, what's stop him from just trying to win over people on the left while straying away from right
So I just want to
policy?
understand your calculus. Your calculus is we don't vote and then he'll listen to us?
I mean, yeah, if some people say that they're not going to vote for
Yeah.
him, then he's going to want to change his policy to be more reflective of the people.
That's really foolish 30 days out from an election. Okay, that's not smart. In fact, that's the way a Democrat operative would talk. Okay, but
You caught me.
but I just want to ask the question though. It's less about Trump or Harris. When you win a presidency, you fill the cabinet with 5,000 appointees, right? You staff the government 5,000 people. Which team of people would be a better fit for your worldview? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be fair then for maybe you to hold your nose, trust God a little bit, say that this is not my perfect fit, but I'm going to say that those 5,000 people will at least be able to do a better job fighting for life, secure borders, so then we can get an even more pro-life candidate.
Honestly, ever since I put this amongst the video I was supposed to get into, I've always had this thought about what this video could hold and how it could make me feel after watching it, and it's actually quite good that it wasn't disappointing. And I really, I don't know, wherever this lady is, thank you. Thank you for being open. Thank you for sharing the truth. Thank you for just being a Christian, honestly, being someone who is God fearing, because a lot of people, or some people, could go through this and just choose a really toxic defense mechanism to deal with the absence, the regret that could come from it. I really hope that she's healing, or rather that she's healed and she's better, and I just really hope that she's doing okay. But this just goes to show that a whole lot of these videos we get into about pro-abortion people, they don't know what they're talking about most times. I know that there are times where it could seem as though abortion is the right thing to do, because in her case, it was the fact that her decision was based on faith. Her faith was not going to let her get an abortion or make it be an option at all. But in the case where she wasn't a Christian, in the case where she didn't have that belief, she could have said that abortion was the right thing to do. And even though she went through it, she still had to get an abortion because of how, I don't know, inaccurate, or the lack of communication from the doctors, or whatever it was they were trying to do. I don't even want to talk more about that, right? Because I could just get really worked up, because that one consultation or whatever, or advice that was given to these patients who trusted her and her baby in your hands, has left this person with like a wounded heart, like a memory that is not so beautiful, and they will actually never forget it, right? But I bet that doctor, or the doctors, they've gone on with their lives and they're happy and all of that. But this video, I just want to make a reference to like the videos I've been getting on pro-abortion people who are always like, it's so easy. They make it seem like it's just a walk in the park, like it's not even, some people say it's not even a baby yet, it's just a fetus, it's just blood, it's just this, it's just that. But you can see that it was a human being forming, a human being who didn't ask you to bring them here, and you eventually did, and then you're taking away their rights, because every individual has the right to live. Every human being has a right to live, and a baby who is growing in the womb is a human being. They already grow some sense of awareness to the environment, some level of connection to their mothers and people's sounds and everything. And someone comes here to say they're not even a baby yet, they're not. Go tell that to mothers who lost their baby. I made a video about that recently, I'm gonna put it up there. Go tell that to this lady. Go tell that to mothers who actually went for abortion, even the ones that wanted it and the ones that didn't want it. Go talk to them and see how they feel about it, and tell me if it was a baby or it wasn't a baby. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get an abortion if that's the right thing, if that's what you think is the right thing for you at that moment, but I'm saying that you should be aware of what you're doing, the consequences, and be aware of what your action means, and accept it, own up to it. If you're choosing the wrong route to happiness or to freedom, be aware and accept it. Don't come here saying, oh, it's just a fetus, or it's just a blood, it's just. Don't do that, please. Like, don't do that, okay? So with this being said, I am so glad I got into this video. This is one of like a very treasured video from Charlie Kirk, to be honest. I mean, there was no hostility, there was no toxic energy of whatsoever. So I'm really glad I got into this. I want to know what you all think about this down in the comment box. Please do share your thoughts, your opinions down in the comment box with me. I'm really gonna appreciate it. We've come to the very end of today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really hope you guys enjoyed something from this video. Do all to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you can be part of this awesome space, which I would really love for y'all to be. So let's put up for buckles and just keep on staying fit and healthy, okay? So bye.